So today we are learning how to create a world in The Sims 4. The green screen is broken. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna have one for a few weeks, so you're just gonna have to deal with the square in a little corner. But I'm not even gonna ramble. We have a brand new video from mod creator Twisted Mexi. I believe the beta is actually out now. I'm pretty sure it came out like a week or two ago. I actually haven't jumped into it yet. I don't even know how to do any of this stuff, but the creator just uploaded a video onto their YouTube channel. It is 10 minutes long, and today we're going to be learning, I guess, how to use the tool. So we're going to do a reaction video of this because I haven't really seen anything. I haven't watched any videos. I haven't explored this at all. I just want to see exactly what is being offered with this before I get the early access on their Patreon. Of course, if you want to support them and download it early, you can. There will be a link that is pinned in the comment section. So let's just jump straight into this.
Hey guys, Twisted Mexi here. As you probably already know, Create a World started alpha on October 21st.
Oh, October 21st. Hold on, let me pull out my handy dandy calendar. October 21st. That's, oh my God, it was more than 2 weeks ago. How did I miss it? Oh my gosh. I could have been playing with it this whole time. Well, at least now I know.
As I'm recording this video, it's entered its 4th alpha update with most of the installer issues resolved, so I think it's time to cover the world builder mode and the available controls. Right now, you're actually looking at a work in progress by one of the players participating in the alpha, but we're going to dive into what starting from scratch looks like first. First, to install Create a World, we're going to open the download and drag the TeamX Create a World folder to our mods folder. No subfolders. Also, make sure your mods and script mods are turned on in gameplay options. If they weren't, restart your game after turning them on. Because this is an alpha and we don't want to risk our important saves, we're going to start a new save. I recommend going back after and naming your save something representative of the world you want to build.
He mentioned that this is the 4th update already within 2 weeks. 4 updates. I wonder what he's changed.
Create a sim and load them into one of the worlds. Load the lot and you'll receive an installer pop-up. If you need to reinstall the same version of Create a World and can't get the installer to load, use the cheat tm.caw.reinstall. Follow the installer steps and you'll be asked to restart.
He is so talented. Like, that is so cool that this whole thing just pops up in the game and it's like a whole like little interface. This is so cool.
We'll see that there's a new section of worlds on the selection screen, all labeled with new via. These are your template worlds. I will be creating a template editor that will allow you to modify terrain, lot placement, etc. But to start the alpha, we're focusing on just the world builder portion. It's also the easiest portion of world creation for players to participate in. Select the world you want to start with. I'm going to pick New via Strangerville. You'll need to load a lot with a sim on it, and then you'll see a new button in the top right.
Oh, okay. So you basically load into the new via, and it's basically, I guess, like a copy of the existing world, except now you're in a template world. So you can edit this one, whereas with the original, you can't edit that. So you see that there's a button there now at the top right. You can only do this in the new via worlds. That's what I'm gathering so far.
What this button was for a while if you paid attention to my past videos.
Oh, it automatically starts off everything completely empty.
This is actually how you'll enter world builder mode. So once we click that, you'll see that we have a build catalog, but with a few differences. There's no lot grid and our categories look a little different. The categories are Create a World oriented.
Architecture, backdrops, fencing, garden, landmarks, plants and decor, rock spawners, street decor, trees, vehicles, miscellaneous, switch to build by filters. Okay, this looks phenomenal. This looks amazing. And I'm not trying to take light away from the creator. Obviously, this is insane. And obviously they are talented and they were able to pull this off. Like, it is so impressive. But what I want to know is, why hasn't EA done this? You would think that EA would want to give players these kinds of tools and this kind of ability to just further push the creativity in this game. To be honest, more people would be interested in playing if we had more creative tools. For example, if something like this was offered to all players, you know, from EA. This is just so phenomenal. I mean, I'm so happy and grateful that it's finally coming from a mod creator, but I just don't know why EA hasn't done this. And the answer to that question isn't they can't do it, because it's possible. I mean, look right in front of us, you know?
Normal categories by room or by switching to build by categories here. Okay, but where are you supposed to build if there's no grid? Everywhere. If you click on an object you'd like to place, it will highlight in the catalog, and then you can click anywhere in the world to instantly plop it down.
Oh my god.
So now what? Once you have the item roughly where you want it, you can use the World Builder controls to adjust it. There is a small learning curve, but it is infinitely easier than using Tool, so if you're coming from that mod of mine, this should be a piece of cake for you.
Yeah, if you don't know, Tool is another Twisted Mexi mod. It is an acronym for Take Objects Off Lot, and I'm pretty sure, I've never used it, but I've heard a lot about it and I've seen some videos. I think that when you move things, you have to enter like numbers and you move it like left and right and all that stuff. So I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I don't think it's the same in this, but I guess we'll find out as we watch.
We're going to quickly jump back into our alpha testers build so that we have a little more scenery to work with, but everything you see here was done with the controls I'm about to show you. Your main controls are going to be WASD.
That makes life so much easier, so you could just move stuff around with WASD.
These will move in the X and Y axis directions. Q and E will control your elevation. Q moves down and E moves up. To scale, you can use the minus and plus keys, but I may be changing this to the bracket keys in the future. 0 will reset the scale to default. To rotate, you can press the R key and you'll see a 3-axis gyro appear to confirm you're in rotation mode.
Oh, so if you want, you can put in the Leaning Tower of Pisa. This is so cool. I love how user-friendly it is. At first, I was thinking and I was worried. I was like, oh shoot, are we gonna have to do, the numbers thing where we input the number and it just moves it each time? Because I was like, I don't know how, how people are gonna feel about that. Especially with something like this, something this big, this grand, with Create a World, but seeing that we have these keys now, W, A, S, and D, Q and E, minus and plus, R, that just makes this so much easier.
WASD and QE will control the 3 axes of rotation instead of position. 0 will reset rotation when in this mode. I do want to give a quick reminder that there are some objects that do not rotate on all 3 axes. They'll only rotate on the horizontal one. This has to do with how EA created the object.
So he's like, this ain't my fault. This is EA's problem. But still, you can still rotate it like, a certain way, but like, see, this is what I'm talking about. Look at what we can do, but it's just like, there are still so many limitations. So because of EA, that's the problem. But like, still, the fact that this creator has tapped into all this and we can do this much in the game, like, this is so insane. Oh my gosh.
So if you see an object that doesn't rotate at all or is squishing, then just know it's one of those objects. There's nothing I can do about it, so unfortunately we have to work around it. All position, rotation, and scale controls can be modified with Shift and Control. Holding Shift will cause your adjustments to be much more precise, while Control will trigger larger adjustments.
It's just whoop. So yeah, you can make the Leaning Tower of Pisa if you wanted to, or something at least very similar. If you're holding that key down, it's very, very minor adjustments. I love that. I love that. I love that.
Keep in mind, you can also just click the ground at any time to instantly move the object there if you decide you want it somewhere else. Tool is still available via Shift plus T if you absolutely need a numerical adjustment, but I believe it should be a rare need with the other World Builder controls in place.
I'm happy that that is there though as an option in case that's what you prefer or that's what you're used to and that's what you like. If you use that mod a lot, that's there for you if you need it. I love that.
Gravity pull works as well if you do prefer that method for smaller adjustments. You can also delete selected objects at any time using the delete key. Eventually clicking with the sledgehammer will work as well, but it's not currently implemented.
I'm seeing some new buttons up here up top, like a settings, some sort of cloud with the sun and rain, and whatever this one is here. I hope that he kind of explains what that is later on. I guess we'll see.
C is the clone key, and it's going to be one of your most useful controls, especially when trying to quickly build natural landscaping. To use it, just select one or more objects, press the C key, and then click where you'd like the clone object to go, or just shift it over using the WASD controls. It will also keep the exact same scale and rotation as the original. This makes it extremely easy to create a repeating or randomized pattern of the same objects.
Yeah, like if you want to do like a line of single bushes that are all individual objects. I love that. So I guess like in a way it's kind of like the eyedropper tool.
At the top, you'll notice World Builder has a toolbar that's a bit different. There's a few buttons that haven't been implemented yet, but let's go over what has. Firstly, your select tool should stay on, as when it's off, you'll get an interaction menu instead when clicking on the ground and object. Next to it, you'll see a double square icon. This is the group mode button. Normally, when you have one object active and click on another, it will deselect the original. If you turn grouping mode on, you can now select other objects while keeping the others selected. Using this in conjunction with the C key will make cloning natural patterns a breeze.
So you can just So, you can clump things together and select multiple objects to clone together. Oh man, this is what we've needed. Modders are saving the day. Oh my gosh, I can't. I don't know why I just reached to put my watch on, but oh my gosh, I'm losing my shit right now. All right, let's keep watching. This is getting better and better.
Now, let's say you want to save this for later. If we press P, we can actually use the preset tool for this. You'll see the menu drop down to the right, and I'm just going to click around the objects I want until the boundary is complete. You'll see it turn green when it has. Now, I'm just going to press space to toggle the selection, and if you already had something selected, you may need to press space twice. All of the objects are now green, so we're going to click Save to Preset Catalog, enter a descriptive name, Field of Wildflowers works for mine, click Save, and then I'm going to move over here where I think I want more flowers. I'm going to draw a small boundary right here, and then if we open the preset catalog and browse, you'll see it's listed now. Click it, and just like that, I've filled my selection with flowers.
Oh no, this is too good. This is too good. I love that. It just makes it so much easier for players. Like if you don't want to have to place every single one over and over and over again, and then in multiple areas too, you can just do that. And I guess you can probably select them and then rotate it too if you want, I'm assuming, in case you don't want it to be like the exact same thing as what you just pasted previously.
Now, let's say I wanted the entire preset to load though. I can either draw the boundary large enough that I know the whole thing will load, or I can click once so a single boundary marker is visible. This will be the center of the preset, so if we go to browse and click it again, the whole thing is spawned in.
Oh, so if you do one little mark, the whole thing, or if you draw a boundary big enough, the whole thing appears. But if you draw a boundary that's small, it won't do the whole thing. I like that too. That way, that also gives you variation too, so it isn't the same exact thing being pasted. You can create different size boundaries in case you want the field of the wildflowers to be a little smaller or a little bit bigger. I love that. That is so cool.
Centered around that point. That's all there is to it, and you can also search the preset and manage them in case you need to delete or rename one. These will eventually be shareable in the Creator World Exchange as well. The preset tool isn't just for presets though. You can also fill a template world with objects from the original EA world if you'd like. Same deal. Set the boundary, press the fill selection from world button, and done. This is useful if you only want to modify a portion of the world instead of starting from scratch.
Wow.
Finally, you can use the preset tool as a general selection tool as well. If you have a large group of objects you need to move around, you can just draw a selection around them and press space to activate the whole group. Keep in mind the more objects you have selected, the more processing power is needed for adjustments, so go easy if your computer is on the older side of things.
I was just thinking that to myself. I was like, he's putting all these wildflowers down. Like, what if you have like a really, really slow laptop and you kind of, place like 1 million of them down, and then you're trying to adjust them and clone them, and then you clone a whole field like 5 times. I could totally see the frame rates just going bonkers with that, but still, like, this is game changing, especially for a game like this, The Sims 4, that already just lacks customization from the start, from EA. Like, I just can't believe we are getting something like this now at this point, because I've kind of given up. So it's like, maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe there is still a lot to come with this game in terms of what mod creators can do.
Press O to open the perimeter tool. At time of recording, this still has some bugs, but once working, you'll be able to set a custom perimeter to keep Sims within a certain area. For now, you can still use it to view the default perimeter, so if you have no plans to change the perimeter, it can give you a good idea of what objects will actually be reachable by Sims.
So you can expand the perimeter, meaning you can make it so your Sim can go even farther out. But I'm assuming that if you do that, that is going to be taxing on your system. So the larger the perimeter is in each neighborhood, then the more computing power that's going to require. Just an assumption, though I could be wrong, but I'm just still blown away that this is possible, because you can take these existing worlds that we already have in the game from EA, from the Sims team. You can still keep elements of them the same, but change them around so that it feels like a new world. Even though it technically isn't a new world, it feels like a new world. And honestly, that's just what's important to me.
Moving back to the World Builder toolbar, the undo and redo buttons work as expected, but you can also use Ctrl-Z and Ctrl-Y respectively. We also have a weather icon. This will be where all the weather controls will be accessed. Again, at the time of recording, the only option enabled is the season selector. More will be rolling out as we continue into the alpha.
Okay, so there is more coming to that weather, but that's a good starting point.
The season selector allows you to easily preview your worlds in the season of your choice. As you can see, we also have the time of day widget from build by, so using that you can actually switch between the 4 times of day. Lastly, the world builder settings button. This is where any general options or miscellaneous tools will end up. At the moment, this brings up the create a world credits widget because I haven't turned on any of the other options yet. Any builds you create in the template worlds are saved with the game's save file, and if you remove create a world for some reason and go to load these save files, you will receive a message saying that there is missing data. That is just letting you know that it couldn't find the template worlds, and as long as you don't save while create a world is not installed, those worlds will still be there whenever you reinstall create a world later. You'll be able to package the worlds you built into a single shareable .world file once I feel World Builder has reached a...
That makes life easy. You can package them into the .worlds and then share them with other people and they can go and download. So if you make something and your friend wants to play in it, boom, send it to them. And now they can play in the same thing that you just made. I love that. Also, another thing that I want to bring up too is the fact that you can see on the main menu when you click on these worlds, it shows like the thumbnail, like the 2-dimensional picture. Twisted Mexi also confirmed previously that you will be able to customize those too to actually fit what your custom world looks like. So it doesn't, look like the EA one, and then when you go in it, it's completely different because it's what you made. You can have that match, and I love that.
A fairly stable state. I'll have more on that in a future video. All right, I believe that covers World Builder as it is today. There's many more tools coming down the line, but I wanted to get this out there so alpha testers will have an easier time jumping in. If you'd like to join the alpha, you can do so by becoming a Test Kitchen patron on my Patreon. There's also a VIP tier that will earn you a permanent spot in my Create a World credits widget you saw earlier. I'd also like to invite you to join my Discord, where many testers are already discussing Create a World, and I also have a progress feed for all of my patrons that I post updates in as soon as progress is made. Also, if you haven't, please subscribe and hit the bell so you can stay tuned for any future videos. Thanks everyone, and I hope you have a good day.
Wow. I'm shaking my head, not because it's bad. I'm shaking my head because I can't believe someone did something like this. Like, this is just like, oh, it's phenomenal. I love it. I love it. Let me know down below what you think about this. Let me know if you're going to be trying it. Head over to Twisted Mexi's Patreon. A link is below. I can't believe this. Wow, this is game changing, and I'm definitely going to play around with it and get a little creative, even though I've never really been the one to make worlds because we had a tool like this for The Sims 3. Of course, it was from EA. I'm pretty sure it wasn't a mod. I never really wanted to play with it. I really didn't have interest in it. I just downloaded a million custom worlds, but I actually kind of want to dig around with this and just see what it has to offer. But yeah, let me know what you think about it and if you're going to be giving it a try at some point. I love you guys. Thank you so much for clicking and watching, and I'll see you all next time. So long and happy simming. Bye guys. This video was brought to you by my supporters on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you'd like to join my community over there, a link is below. Thank you for watching.